Today we go hands-on with the LaCie Rugged RAID Pro with the built-in UHS-II SD card reader. Hope you guys and gals had a good weekend. This is Jeff Benjamin with 9 to 5 Mac, and here it is in the flesh, the LaCie Rugged RAID Pro, giving you 4 terabytes of mechanical hard drive storage up to 250 megabytes per second read. You get that traditional LaCie design by Neil Poulton, which lends you that bright orange shock-resistant rubber sleeve. Now under the IP54 dust and water-resistant cover, you have a USB-C port and an SD card slot. You also have that activity light right above, along with an AC adapter connector, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So here's the water and dust cover for the LaCie Rugged RAID Pro, and they actually include a second one of these inside the box, just in case you lose this one. On some previous LaCie drives, you had a built-in cable that was permanently attached. That's not the case with the Rugged RAID Pro. You have a standalone USB-C cable. There's also a legacy USB-C to USB-A cable included, and a power adapter for those cases where the computer doesn't provide enough bus power. In most cases, you probably won't need that. For MacBook Pro users, you should be able to connect and power the Rugged RAID Pro using the included USB-C to USB-C cable. There are good things about not having a permanently attached cable, but the downside is that you have to remember to always bring it with you in order to connect your Rugged RAID Pro to your MacBook Pro. And this is USB 3.1 Gen 1, which provides a max of 5 gigabits per second. Now, the drive comes pre-configured with RAID 0, which is going to give you the best performance, but if you want to configure RAID 1 or JBOD, just a bunch of disk, you have to use RAID Manager to go in and change the configuration, and then you have to confirm the change by pressing this little button here with the paperclip, like this. So I think that's a pretty thoughtful design decision because obviously reconfiguring RAID is going to completely wipe the drive, so you want to be absolutely sure. So let's talk about performance. Obviously RAID 0 is far and away the best option if performance is a priority. You can see 250 megabytes per second both read and write, and here's that Blackmagic disk speed test tool. The downside of RAID 0 obviously is that if you lose one drive, then all of your data is lost. So definitely not a solution for mission critical data that you don't have backed up. You can see RAID 1 basically provides less than half the speed of RAID 0. And that of course isn't going to cut it for some workflows. So just keep that in mind. The drive defaults to RAID 0 for a reason obviously, but if you're going to use it, make sure you have a backup for your data. Along with the RAID Manager app, there's also the Toolkit app, which lets you do things like format your drive or even mirror your files from a folder and automatically sync those files. But the Toolkit's most interesting feature is the ability to automatically back up an SD card to the drive just like this. So the first time you back up, it's going to prompt you if you want to import. You just click import and it'll start the import. The problem is that I found this to be a little on the finicky side. It's going to be a little slow as well. I find that it's so much faster just to manually manage your backup. So basically just manually drag your SD card contents over to the drive and do it that way. It's a UHS-II reader, by the way, so it's really, really fast. So watch this. I'm just manually dragging the contents of my SD card over, and notice the speed here. So this is like almost 30 gigabytes. Look at that, about 3 minutes remaining. So manual is the way to go in my opinion. It's a very fast way to back up your SD card, and the fact that you get an SD card built into the drive is just a convenience factor for MacBook Pro owners because that's a feature that the MacBook Pro outright lacks. So who is this drive for? I would say it's mainly for those on the go who need to regularly back up SD card contents. So you're out shooting in the field, you need to back up the contents of your card. This is a great drive to do so. It's obviously rugged, it's made to withstand the day-to-day rigors of travel. It's definitely not the fastest drive that you can find for the MacBook Pro. There are many SSDs available that we've reviewed that are way faster than this, but you get a massive 4 terabytes of on-the-go bus-powered storage, and you get that UHS-II reader built in, and that may appeal to some of you. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is Jeff with 9 to 5 Mac.